And yet again, I'm kind of reminded that I need to work on my own intro. What is up, everyone? To everyone listening, name's Crimson Law. Welcome to Animated, my little show where I mostly just find random trailers, bullshit, and articles. But this week, I actually have something pretty big to talk about, and it's kind of been the hot news in the anime/animation world. Yeah, we're talking about Mappa Studios today. But before that, we're going to get into some trailers, we're going to get into some weekly recap, and we're going to get into some cringe. So I guess we start here. What I've been watching and reading lately. So continuing on to read Claymore, I am now on volume 16, and it's actually been pretty good. I think I might have said this before, but so far it kind of feels like Berserk for people who can't handle all of the dark, twisted stuff that Berserk has. But at the same time, that feels a little bit unfair because the story's still fairly good. It's trying to compare anything to Berserk is kind of rough because Berserk is just amazing. It is almost perfect. Um, Only watched a little bit of anime this week, and I still need to catch up on Love is War, The First Kiss That Never Ends. I still have not touched that. Well, I can't say I haven't touched it because I watched the first episode. Sup, Daimyo? How you doing? But I've been mostly working because we're coming up on Thanksgiving, so I get the long weekend and all of that. And because it's family business now, I've got to work some extra hours to try and get the job all closed up before rain hits us and we go on a long weekend. Haven't really touched anything else as far as like watching stuff. I mostly spent my time either writing, trying to make a bunch of videos. I recorded like 5 of them this week and then re-recorded like 2 of them. One of which happened to do a little bit better than I expected. But hey. Fuck, there goes my phone. I am so professional. So I'm doing something a little bit unusual, and I'm actually touching on some of the gaming stuff today. Then there is a couple of show trailers, one that absolutely pisses me off, and ultimately the Mappa Studio Jujutsu Kaisen nonsense that could be going on. And I do want to say one thing. I absolutely need to downgrade my rating of Kingdoms of Ruin because the longer I watch that show, the more I realize it is a predictable, absolutely garbage, awful anime that just either tries to be too edgy or too tragic at the same time. And I don't know what I expected. I mean, the first episode, okay, I'll give it to you. It was actually, kind of good. Had me seething for about a week. And the second episode was and then from there, it's just a predictable mess. However, I think I want to get into the first thing I have tonight, and that is actually a trailer for a game I play quite a bit when I actually have the time. And now they're releasing new content, so if you haven't heard of Risk of Rain, this is one of my favorite like time waster games. And really all it is you get dropped into a map as a character, which you can choose, and there are like 10, 11, or maybe, I don't know. There's a couple of characters you can choose. Each one has a bunch of different abilities and all of that. You can unlock new abilities for them. A little bit of a grind, but basically it's a like wave-based survival mode, and you're going to go through each map, fight a boss, move to the next map through a teleporter after you beat the boss. There are ways to actually complete runs and stuff, so it's not like you're just endlessly surviving. But most of it is really just kind of a fun time waster thing you can play with friends, up to 4 people. So they released their Survivors of the Void DLC, which I haven't seen anything bad about. And now they have Seekers of the Storm, and I have not seen this. My meme dealer sent this to me, so I'm kind of curious as to how it's going to play. Wow, they actually gave it like some proper.
If you receive this message,
It fits in with my show title. It's animated now.
know the following. I am no low-born vermin. But perfection is part of me. His passion is part of me. His hatred and loneliness is...
Interesting. So what, are they going to give you something that's kind of like the final boss for the game to play as? I don't know how I feel about that, because that's like such a stereotypical thing. Like they give you the nerfed version of the final boss to play as.
part of me. Our freedom is long overdue. These pathetic creatures seek a new shackle. But now, I must save myself. Powered by the bulwark's end, driven by their fear, their hatred, I was changed. Now, a new salvation comes for them all. None.
Or are we going to get like a new final boss kind of thing for this game? Because that would be kind of cool. Like different ways to end your runs in this game.
None shall find me. Seekers of the storm, face my divine rule and crumble.
I mean, I gotta say, at least it's an appealing trailer. Like, it makes me interested in what they're doing with it. However, I still know absolutely nothing about what's going on with that. So it kind of looks like it had something to do with Mithrax, which is the final boss of the game. But I don't know exactly what they're going to do. Either way, I like Risk of Rain. This looks good to me. I'm kind of excited about that. The other game that I wanted to talk about was something that was just sort of absolutely bonkers, that this is actually a thing that you can get. Let me pull this up here. And I only say that because it has to be one of the funniest things I have ever encountered. Like a 2D side scroller Alex Jones video game. It's like a sort of like shoot 'em up kind of game. And it has a trailer and everything. I don't know if playing this trailer on YouTube is gonna get me booted though. That could be a thing. Because I know YouTube does not like Alex Jones. So should I play this? That is a very, very good question. And I need to be absolutely careful with what I do. I'm gonna pull up my own stream here just so I can be sure that I'm still live when this whole thing video. It says my stream is unavailable. Okay. There we go. There we go. We're gonna go for it. And if I get taken down, who the fuck cares, you know? I'll just reboot the stream and start again. Okay.
First came Pac-Man,
Fuck, that's loud.
and Super Mario Bros.
Sorry about
And
that.
now, the ultimate retro nostalgia throwback game. I present to the world Alex Jones's New World Order Wars. They're turning the friggin' frogs game. I'll eat your ass, you Nazi scum.
It's about exactly what I expected. My little brother sent this to me. I didn't even know it was a thing until this morning when we got to work, and my little brother was just like, "Hey, so they're making an Alex Jones game that you can buy," and I'm just like, "What the fuck? You need to send this information to me right now." And I'm not disappointed.
Let's free the Patriots and defeat the globalist tech geeks.
We are going to defeat the globalists very bigly.
This game.
Wait, hold on. Was that like Donald Trump as like Superman or something? That's kind of funny, actually.
Bigly.
This game is mostly peaceful.
Woo! I'm going to lower the world's population.
Oh, big.
It's like so cliche. It's hilarious. It is like stereotypical, like Alex Jones insanity, and I love it. It's amazing. Well, Pilgrim, if you want it, it's only like $17 right now to download.
I'm taking you down, rapist.
I did not have sex
Jeffrey
with that
Epstein!
sexual-
Download it now at AlexJonesGame.com because, as we all know,
This is
anything
glorious.
badass gets censored.
This is glorious. You know what? I'm gonna get this game and I'm gonna start uploading like a whole playthrough of this on my channel. This is amazing. I need this. Game of the year. There is one other thing that really upsets me, and I'm gonna pull that up right now. Do it? Yes, I absolutely will. The videos might not last, but I absolutely will upload Alex Jones video game to my channel. And I wonder if you can get multiple people to play it with. Because if you can, I will definitely do it with my racist younger brother. I unironically love Alex Jones because the dude is an absolute like living, breathing meme. I think he's off his rocker on a lot of things, but you cannot deny that the dude is absolutely hilarious to watch. Unlike the next thing. Let's see here. So Amazon has decided that I think it's Amazon Prime Video has decided to make a Christmas movie out of Batman. Batman. And right off the bat, I can tell you the art style and the animation for this looks atrocious. I've only seen about 30 seconds of this, so I have no idea how actually like bad and cringe this is gonna get. Maybe I should wait. Hold on, hold the fuck on. Why the fuck did you give Batman a beard? That looks wrong. I mean, there's also the art style that looks wrong, but why a beard? I don't know any good renditions of Batman that have a beard.
Merry Christmas, Gotham City. In breaking news,
What the fuck is this character design? Like, that's supposed to be the Riddler? This dude looks like Gollum in a green suit. Looks like Kermit, Gollum, and Pinocchio had a fucking three-way, and this abomination is what popped out. What the fuck is with my recommendations?
Gotham is officially crime-free as Batman continues to clean it up.
Dad, I'm ready to be a superhero like you.
Oh god, it looks like the shitty like Tumblr animation from like Steven Universe, and I hate it already. And I absolutely know they're gonna make like a Batman this gigantic fucking oaf in this just by looking at it.
Merry Christmas, kiddo.
My own utility belt!
Which should only be used in case of a bat emergency.
Oh, come on, Dad.
They're going with the whole bat everything shtick. Seriously? Why can't Batman be taken as like a serious character in cartoons anymore? Like Teen Titans Go in this just shitting on Batman, which is like DC's most popular character. Fuck off.
Not a baby.
Hey, I never said you were a baby.
Also, that voice is absolute shit for Batman, especially in the wake of Kevin Conroy. I don't think you can get away with. I'm gonna have to figure out who the fuck is voicing this Batman because it sounds like garbage.
Emergency! Call for help! My precious little baby is in danger!
It's the Justice League.
I'm sorry I'm pausing this so much, but like, I have watched some brain-meltingly retarded shit recently, and this is probably the most retarded thing I have watched in a long time. And to answer the question, which Robin is this and why is he so young? I believe this is Damian Wayne, Batman's biological son, or Bruce Wayne's biological son with Talia al Ghul. And he's only like, I don't know, 14 in the actual comics. So how bad is this going to be? Are they going to keep the same retarded voice as he's in the suit?
Sorry, Damien. I gotta go.
Shall I assume we did not?
No, that's not Alfred. Not allowed. I reject that.
See the Bat Razor?
I like it. Totally up.
No, absolutely not. I don't like the voice. It's wrong. Like, there's nothing intimidating about this Batman. There's nothing Batman about this Batman. You don't get to do this to, like, one of my favorite fictional characters. Did you not watch the Rolo Rome cast? I only get to watch parts of it because I work and I'm usually busy at the times they're streaming, so like I get to watch like 30 to 45 minutes of it as I'm on my lunch break. And even then, because my phone is fucked, I can't comment on any of their streams, so it's like I'm just kind of there lurking all the time. But honestly, I would say this is more retarded so far than anything Roman or Roland have said. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say anything. Because I do have a video on my channel talking Bleach with Roland, and he was just abjectly wrong about something. Which I later came to find out when I was editing the video. I was like, wait, that doesn't seem right.
Ups my intimidation game.
You have donut crumbs in your intimidation game, sir.
Okay, now you're just being fucking lazy. Like, you just add in the crumbs afterwards. Again, like I said, they're just gonna make Batman super oafish in this, and I already hear the excuses coming. Well, it's a kids show. So was the best rendition of Batman outside the comics. And yet this one did Batman right. This one took the story seriously. You can do a cartoon for kids with an actual Batman.
I promise I'll be back before Christmas.
Oh man, I'm the worst dad ever.
Like, why does the sound of that voice, it's so wrong, it pisses me off.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Joker!
Oh, how I want to make this a very special Christmas Eve.
That's the Joker. I actually never watched the Lego Batman movie. Something I meant to, but it just got pigeonholed. Oh, I hate that look for the Joker. That looks so wrong. And I mean, it's a culmination of character design, the artwork, my predisposed bias, because like I'm a fan of the Arkham games, I'm a fan of Batman, the animated series. I even have the Dark Knight trilogy up there in my Blu-ray collection. So like I've seen really good Jokers. I'm used to good Jokers. Lego Batman actually tells a pretty decent Batman story. Well, maybe I'll have to check it out. I mean, I liked the first Lego movie. I thought that movie was great, except for the everything is awesome. That song was so fucking annoying. That and Let It Go are like well, yeah, you can get away with an exaggerated Batman in Lego Batman because in that universe everything is already exaggerated.
To make this a very special Christmas Eve.
And what better way to do it than by stealing Christmas?
I have to show Dad I can handle myself.
So basically this is all just going to be, it's going to be a Batman show without Batman. You're going to sell a Batman show on the premise that Batman's getting replaced by his kid. Let It Go is 10 times worse. Yeah, I can name one that's 10 times worse than that, though, and it's Baby Shark. So much so that I was on a bachelor party trip with some friends. We were up in the mountains in Colorado, and I threatened to shank them all and leave their bodies in the snow because they started singing that song. I hate Everything Is Awesome, Let It Go, and Baby Shark. Like those like legitimately just make me pissed on the spot when I hear them.
Whoa! It's a bit saggy. Oh, that one just leaves nothing to the imagination. Dad made me a bat suit? Awesome. Wait until they get a load of me.
No, God. Like, I get they're poking fun, or they're trying to like make some like remember, the member berry shit. Making fun of like the bat nipples, the most overused Batman joke ever, or making fun of like the Alan West Batman. But if you ask me, both of those right now are still better than this.
You don't have what it takes to be a superhero.
I can do this! I'm saving Christmas!
All right, which one of you gave a little kid explosives?
Allow me to break the ice, little.
Oh my god, dude. The voices for this are so bad. I know the excuses are going to be, well, it's not supposed to be a serious Batman story. It's supposed to be for kids. You're overreacting to it. The thing is that, like, you're basically just making fun of Batman with this. When DC is making fun of their own, like, most popular character, like, what is wrong with them? Why can we not get any good, like, Batman cartoons anymore? Or Batman animated projects? Like, where is the stuff like Mask of the Phantasm? That movie is amazing. Again, something a kid would watch, I think. There is a little bit of blood in it, but I don't really think that would stop most kids these days. Batman, the animated series, is like the peak every cartoon should be shooting for, if you ask me. And somehow you manage to, like, make the most abysmally drawn, poorly animated, poorly voiced, oafish Batman show I have ever seen.
Batman. What do you say? Need a wingman?
More like a sidekick.
Oh god, not the one-liner. Fuck. Hey, Black. You're just in time for Cringe. December 8th is my 13th reason why. The thing is, though, I think December 8th is when The Boy and the Heron comes out, and I am definitely going to go see that movie. J.J. Abrams' Batman is going to be great. Sure. Just like J.J. Abrams' Star Wars was great. Or J.J. Abrams' Star Trek was great. Actually, I didn't really mind the Star Trek stuff. But I'm a fake fan when it comes to Star Trek. So you can hang me for that one. I don't care. Okay. Thoughts. I've already said it, but this is some poorly animated, terribly voiced garbage. Batman is a character that works best with a specific art style, and that is Gothic noir. Let me tell you right now, this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. They go out of their way to, like, make this incredibly oafish, completely stupid, like, unintimidating version of Batman, because apparently everything that's for kids has to be like kind of stupid now, which is untrue. At least it was in the past. I mean, we had, for a long time, we had good cartoons with solid storytelling. We had Teen Titans. We had stuff like, I don't know, I like this one, Samurai Jack. We had stuff like, hell, even some of the newer stuff. Like Adventure Time was at least like a good story. I hate the art style for that. I hate the art style for a lot of new cartoons, which is one of two reasons that I moved over to, like, watching a ton of anime. This right here, there, yeah. It's really hard to tell directions when you're looking at a screen of yourself trying to point at something that's on that screen. Last Wish was an amazing movie. I love it. It was well animated. All the fight scenes were really hype, and that's one of the big things I talk about when like it comes to like animated like action sequences. Like if you're gonna make a fight scene in a cartoon, make it look good. Like Jujutsu Kaisen or Free. It had a great story. You look at the messaging, it's solid, wholesome, universal. It's something that like you could actually like I don't know, 10 years from now, you could pull up and be like, "Hey kids, this is what I was watching." If I ever have a family of my own, I'm definitely showing my kids that movie. Last Wish, it came down to I think it was Last Wish and Seeing Red for like animated movie of the year. Last Wish is better. Last Wish. Plus they showed blood. Yeah. Yeah. There was so much good about that movie. Like I saw the trailers and stuff and I was just like, "Oh, I got to see this." Same with like The Boy and the Heron, which I will definitely be seeing over Batman, a Merry Batman, or Merry Little Batman. So yeah, it's like they perpetually go out of their way to like try and like make fun of Batman, and I don't get it. He is their best character, their most intriguing character, and he is a serious character. Batman does not work as a gag character. And you want to talk about like one-liners and stuff and Batman making jokes? He does it well in Batman the Animated Series because it's an occasional thing thrown in there and he makes like one like pun in like 3 episodes making fun of the Joker and his failed plans. Ugh. I hate to see so much like bad Batman because like I've said, Batman is one of my favorite um animated characters, not animated, fictional characters of all time. He's just so freaking great. And I need to add some more like Batman stuff to my book collection and figure collection because the only thing I have for Batman right now are a few like Golden Age omnibus volumes and a Batman the Animated Series figure in that's still in the packaging. They've done it to Superman as well. Yeah. Um it's a like it's almost a systematic and like targeted attack on the American mythos. The like superheroes and comic books that we all loved and adored as kids. They want us to move past that stuff and they want us to just forget that it ever existed or try to like do all their own thing with it because they think they're self-important and they have important things to say to people. My issue is like people are going to say that this show is for kids and that I shouldn't be taking it too seriously. And they forget that Batman was taken seriously in multiple cartoons. Look up Batman, the animated series, The Batman, Justice League, Batman Beyond. These are all series that took Batman very seriously and still did them well. And in all of those, he still had like a few quips and stuff, a few jokes he made. It's like kids' cartoons or cartoons in general don't get taken seriously anymore. Invincible seems to be like one of the few exceptions to the death of American animation. You don't see much good out of Disney anymore, even though they used to be some of the best animators in the world. I mean, DreamWorks does good, but their stuff is mostly 3D. I like a lot of 2D stuff. I think it generally looks a bit better. And Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon have basically gone off the deep end. I mean, they got obsessed with that like Tumblr animation from Steven Universe and all of that, and all of their cartoons went to crap. You went from having good stuff like Teen Titans and Star Wars The Clone Wars, or even just like amazing slapstick stuff like Tom and Jerry. You went from that to like Uncle Grandpa or Clarence. No, I have not watched Arcane yet. Again, I'm so occupied with like mostly occupied with good anime. Somewhat occupied with some absolutely shit anime. Do not watch Kingdoms of Ruin. The first episode gives you a glimmer of hope, and then everything from there is just a predictable blitzkrieg of story elements. America used to have like some of the best animation around. Like you go like early anime, early cartoons, we did things better. But we stopped taking our animation seriously and stopped acknowledging that it can be used to tell more mature, adult oriented stories like Invincible. And started treating it like it's all for dumb kids who were raised on TikTok. And we stopped like being serious about the quality of our animation too. Like newer seasons of Young Justice just like absolutely biffing some run animation. Whereas the Japanese constantly do this kind of stuff well. And I bring up Jujutsu Kaisen again because some of their fight scenes are ungodly levels of amazing. Too bad that Mappa is a shithole company to work for, which we're going to talk about next. Like even some of like the mediocre anime, things that don't have like the most amazing or beautiful combat sequences are still really good. Shangri-La Frontier, Hunter x Hunter, those are two things I'm watching right now that they may not reach the levels of animation that Jujutsu Kaisen and Frieren do, but they're still good. They're still solid. And Hunter x Hunter is just an all-around goated series. Like you want to talk about a series that properly deconstructs the shonen protagonist, that's Gon. Like I don't think Gon just outright wins a fight because he has to, because he's the protagonist, ever in the series. The dude literally loses a good number of his fights against very important characters. Like when he battles Hisoka multiple times. Like he's just absolutely outclassed in that one. Or during the Chimera Ant arc, which is what I'm on. He's so far outclassed by people like Meruem or Netero or even Neferpito. Curse Hunter x Hunter and their weird ass names. Could be Bleach though. But American cartoons just don't take themselves seriously anymore. And honestly, I think if we're talking like great American cartoons, there's Batman the Animated Series, there's Atla, and honestly, I think this needs to be up there. This is one of my favorite bits of DC animation. And it's all because of the first season with the Lex Luthor Brainiac arc where Lex Luthor is pretty much like dying and he's searching for a way to evade that death, and he returns to implanting Brainiac into his body, and it turns him basically into a god. And like the Flash has this really epic moment where he just like powers up and humbles Lex Luthor at the very end of the first season, but at just about the cost of his life. It's great. It's amazing storytelling. It's really well done, and it's just a shame that the second season of that kind of fell apart. I wish American cartoons would go back to being the great kind of stuff we used to get. But I don't see that happening for a while because these things take time to correct. Invincible is a good direction. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is a good direction. But Disney, one of our like titan animators, has become like meh. Pixar used to print gold, and now they just they produce flops all the time. Wish is not doing well. People are not receiving that one well. Illumination, I guess people kind of like Illumination because of the Minions and Despicable Me, and the first Despicable Me was good. I don't care much for all the Minion stuff because it spawned a whole legion of Facebook mom memes that I just wish that I didn't have to see. However, DreamWorks has been doing well. With the Shrek stuff, with Puss in Boots, and with How to Train Your Dragon, those are amazing animated movies. They are really good movies, great action sequences. Can you tell I'm big on action sequences? And amazing stories that have good messages. Yes, the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, I don't think any of those movies miss at all. They're great. Shrek, I never really watched the second and third one much. I do remember not liking the fourth one. In the first one, great. Oh, Kung Fu Panda! How do I forget Kung Fu Panda? I love that movie. Hey, Vinzinger, how you doing? I think, though, it's about time to move into the main topic of the night, and that is the unfortunate situation going on with one of the biggest Japanese animators of our time. And now, following the unfortunate stuff that happened to like Kyoto Animations, I believe, and Madhouse, now Mappa is kind of feeling the pressure of being number one. So basically, what we have here is Jujutsu Kaisen has brought up some serious issues as far as like animators' well-being goes. People are concerned that Mappa is overworking their employees, and there is some legitimate evidence to support that claim. So here we have Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is once again facing issues with production as animators and fans are collectively calling out Mappa for its busy schedule. And here's everything you need to know. This article doesn't have everything we need to know, but I do have one that has some really interesting information on it that I will pull up after this. So, yeah, there's no doubt that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is one of the best anime series of 2023. I mean, Yuji versus Choso, Megami versus Toji, Sukuna versus Jogo. These are all amazing bits of animation that should be like a standard setting kind of thing. It proves Mappa's work is amazing. However, the conditions needed to produce that kind of work, little unfortunate. The season adapts 2 arcs from the manga, both of which are incredibly popular among fans. Apart from the great storytelling in Gege Akutami, the animation studio also plays a vital part in the series' success. Yes, because the spectacular quality of their animation shot Jujutsu Kaisen way up into the mainstream. The soundtrack is great. The visuals, voice actors, the animators, everything comes together perfectly with Jujutsu Kaisen, except for like I do find the story a little bit hollow. Like it doesn't really have a whole lot of substance, but it's still good. It's still really well written. Their poor working conditions are no secret to the anime community, so much so that the animators often post about it on Twitter. After the controversial Season 2, Episode 14, Jujutsu Kaisen delivered spectacular episodes 2 weeks in a row. Season 2 is in a crucial phase right now, so all the upcoming episodes will feature major fights and plot twists. Yes, like I said, there are some huge things going to happen in the Shibuya arc here that are really important for them to get right. Yeah, I made a video admitting something about Mappa, but luckily I didn't make excuses nor take Mappa's side. Despite that, I'm not surprised that Mappa did that because every anime studio does it. Yes, that's actually something that's very true. A lot of studios do exploit their workers. That's something that's covered in these articles I'm going through here. One of the directors of season 2, Kazuto Arai, shared, "Bad news has arrived. I'm suddenly overwhelmed. The most boring ending I can think of. Ah, the festival is over. Yes, disbanded and disbanded." Basically, what he's talking about here is he petitioned to extend the deadline and the company shut it down. Basically, he wanted more time for his team to be able to complete their work, and they wouldn't allow it. Also pointed out the issue reminder that if you hire teams of young, materially ambitious creators because you want to exploit the bombastic appeal of their work, it's not their failing if it becomes impossible to comply with your studio's pathetic planning. They didn't doom the schedule. It already was. Yes. Effectively, the point of this is kind of touching the surface of the issue. A lot of people feel like there is not enough time to complete these projects. There are rumors that they are coming out just hours before they're supposed to air on television. And that becomes kind of an issue because the Mappa does not give breaks. Like they are taking on so much anime right now, and a lot of it is like huge titles that they cannot afford to fuck up. And the sad thing is, a lot of these animators really love what they do, and they want to do good work. It's just that their working environment is not being nice to them. I'll pull up the next article now. I think I should probably do the interview one. It's kind of short. Former Mappa animator describes working conditions as like a factory. So, freelance animator Mushio explains why they chose to leave Studio Mappa in a series of tweets on May 14th. According to Mushio, who worked on the most recent season of Attack on Titan, the studio engaged in unhealthy work conditions during the series run. Note, while the tweets were initially public, Mushio has since locked their account. Mushio questioned their decision to work for the company, describing their experience of being asked to fix drawings over and over and over again until the sun came up as why they quit. They criticized Mappa's decision to work on 4 shows at the same time. 4 shows. Looks like I'm making gang signs if I do that. But 4 shows at the same time. That is a lot of animation work. Instead of properly training its team so that such corrections wouldn't be necessary. Mushio compared the work environment to a factory where bottom-rung animators are tasked with correcting issues instead of drawing. Damn! According to Mushio, their complaint wasn't unique. As far as I can tell, about 80% of the employees had similar complaints. Mappa took over animating the popular Attack on Titan series from Wit Studio, starting with the first part of the final season. The series premiered in December 2020, while Mappa was also working on Jujutsu Kaisen and Gymnastic Samurai. Zombieland Saga Revenge debuted in April. Mushio regularly shared their artwork while working on Attack on Titan final season on Twitter. So therein kind of highlights one of the big issues with Mappa. Their CEO is obsessed with taking work. And that's going to be part of like the next article I pull up here. Because this is the one that really, really got my goat. Had a lot of detail on this one. So shout out to Spiel Anime for this amazing article. So this came out at the beginning of October. And whoever wrote this did really good stuff. So introductory, Mappa is basically at the top of their game right now, at the top of the industry. They're a Titan. They're kind of one of the biggest, best, most known names out there. They do a lot of stuff people love. So, alongside its accolades and devoted fan base, I'm a fan of Mappa's work, okay? Mappa has been marred by allegations of overworking its dedicated staff, and it's no secret that Mappa undertakes an impressive number of high-profile projects every year, renowned for their jaw-dropping animation quality. Yes! Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man. I could probably name more if I really thought about it, but I'm blanking right now. So, notable titles like Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, of course, have kept fans on the edge of their seats, but also raised eyebrows about the welfare of the studio's workforce. Yes, because they are fucking overworked, more so than just about any other company out there. There's an image of one of the guys doing an interview out there, and the dude just looks so dead inside. Like, he looks like he hadn't slept in 3 days straight. Sadly, it appears that working conditions have only deteriorated over time. The Mappa staff has reached a breaking point. Recently, disturbing information has come to light, revealing that Mappa requires employees to sign non-disclosure agreements. These NDAs explicitly instruct directors and animators working on Jujutsu Kaisen not to discuss the overall production state of the show. That was the one. I was reading this before I came on stream just to check it for information to see if there's anything good in here. That was the one that made me really pissed. So I am going to... I love Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man and the animation work that Mappa does. But it is appalling that conditions would be so bad it would require the company to force their employees into non-disclosure agreements over it. That isn't right. That just straight up shouldn't be happening. And it's a very common thing in Japan to have this kind of overwork. Vinzinger made this point earlier, I think, where a lot of studios suffer from this kind of overwork. It's not culturally acceptable in Japan to complain about your workplace. And these people, they want to do their best work, which I absolutely respect, because they understand that doing bad work is bad for their future. They don't complain, they don't do shit work, they do their best. And it makes it easy for companies to exploit them. Unsurprisingly, this move has sparked outrage among the studio's dedicated team. Earlier today, the floodgates opened as numerous animators decided to break their silence. They took to Twitter to talk about the punishing schedule, dismal working environments, subpar compensation, and the fear that they could be silenced by the studio. Like, holy shit. Now, Mappa is far from the first shitty animation studio. But you would think that these companies would learn at some point that maybe treating your employees like this is a recipe for disaster. Maybe getting so big that you need to abuse your power and do this to people is a recipe to fall apart like Madhouse did. The work conditions in the animation industry are beyond reparations. The perpetual exploitation of employees has been a popular work culture in these studios. These are further motivated by the likes of big streaming platforms like Netflix, which hire such studios on a contractual basis for project cuts much lower than the industry rate. Animator Ippei Ichi confirmed in 2021 on Twitter that Netflix has started to place orders at a much lower rate than that of TV series. Apparently, a producer working on a Netflix anime made by Mappa suggested paying 3,800 yen per cut, which is roughly 34 US dollars, while the ceiling should have been stipulated at $134. Basically, they're getting underpaid for their work. Freelancer employee Mushio shows up, made a statement on Twitter after leaving Mappa, stating that the work conditions at Attack on Titan were blatantly unhealthy. The only reports talking about such stuff are about AOT only. We all knew that AOT's production was disastrous compared to Mappa shows. Oh, this guy's basically trying to defend Mappa here on this. Okay. The decision of Mappa to work on 4 simultaneous projects without proper training of the team led to the proliferation of a factory-like work environment, where the animators in the lower strata were constantly made to do corrections instead of actually creating something. I.e., you were pulling people off of projects they could have been doing to lighten the load instead of properly training your employees to do the animation work so that such corrections weren't necessary, thus increasing doubly the amount of work that every animator had to do. Ever had to pick up slack for a new guy? Or just had to pick up someone else's slack? And it makes everything go like much slower than if just one person was working on it and doing it right. This demeaning act of exploiting such a large workforce has eventually led to the recent uproar, and the repressed voices have finally imploded. Mappa has also garnered a lot of attention in recent years. Past employees and critics claim that it is on its path to becoming the next Madhouse. Now, Madhouse has kind of come back with Freerin. They're doing really good with that. But, as this says, which evidently collapsed due to its extremely harsh and deformative work culture. It was indeed the Madhouse co-founder who went on to establish Mappa. Red flag! Employees have also claimed that Mappa only granted 8 months to its animators to animate the entirety of Attack on Titan Season 4, after the project was taken over from WIT. Well, here's basically just a tweet. A lot of people left Studio Madhouse because of the issues related to being overworked. Some of those people just went to Mappa and started doing the exact same thing. Overworking and underpaying are two words that best define the work culture that has been propagated through studios like Mappa. While many people call these shows high production values, it is because of that simple fact that the cuts and paychecks for the animators and margin of profit are notoriously manipulated and downgraded. That's just sad to hear. The casualties of excess workload or causalities, the causalities of excess workload is a result of, was casualties right? I am having a bad time Englishing today. The casualties of excess workload is a result of various unplanned actions. Studios like Mappa take up multiple projects at the same time, and the deadlines are frighteningly compact, making no room for changes or promotion of a fluid work culture. This has previously happened with many anime studios, evidently leading to their downfall and ruination, which is something I am kind of a little nervous about when it comes to Mappa. Gonzo in the early 2000s, Piero in the mid 2000s. I believe Piero is who did Naruto. A1 Pictures, they did Licorice Recoil, so they're still around. They just aren't really as big anymore. I know they did SAO. They're doing Solo Leveling. They did the Love is War movie, and JC Staff in the mid 2010s. Overcommitment and underdelivery have been a major fallacy of Mappa, and to uphold its reputation has even resorted to promoting such unhealthy standards and practices in the workplace. Mappa's history of overworking its employees has remained prominent over the years. Like I said, this isn't exactly a new issue. This is something that we've kind of all known for a while, but right now it's become super evident for people. Recently, the animators and staff involved with Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 were made to sign a confidentiality agreement, and it restricted them from revealing any information about the industry and the studio's wrongdoings and exploitations. And this is where, like, Japanese work culture kind of, like, really hurts them. These people are dedicated to their jobs. So much so, it's kind of caused a population crisis in that country. You see a lot of this in the animation industry, and they do a lot of good work. There is some really, really beautiful animation. But the environments being abysmal is a really tragic thing because these people love what they do. They're working hard on these projects, but they're treated like shit for wanting to do good work. And they don't complain because it's not culturally acceptable. They don't, well, and in this case, they're not allowed to. And it makes the problem even worse because if you let these bullies get away with this kind of stuff, they're just going to keep doing it. I mean, we've already covered how, Mappa, we already kind of covered how Mappa was spawned off of the downfall of Madhouse, which was doing the exact same thing. The co-founder of Madhouse went over to Mappa, at least according to this article. It's sad to see all of these people who are really dedicated to what they do and who do good work, like, say stuff like, I no longer enjoy this. Such a simple statement put out on the internet. But it speaks to the state of things. It really tells you how people feel about all this stuff. Just how abusive Mappa is. Like, and I'll get into some of the reasons here. Like, you talk about, like, their cancellation problems and delays. But ultimately, the issue is corporate greed. And the whole reason that Mappa got stacked with so many anime at the same time is because the CEO of Mappa really, really wanted to merchandise some of these. Chainsaw Man, Attack on Titan. They really wanted to get their grubby little paws on everything they could because it made more money for them. And we talk about, like, I hear people talk about like making sure that the animators get their money for the show, and let's be honest here, those animators are getting stiffed out of what they deserve. So if anyone watching this at any point in time ever like finds some sort of like GoFundMe or fund to like send some like or to like send some aid to some of these animators, like get them a break, get them some like compensation or anything, hit me up. Because these people genuinely deserve it. They do good work. They work hard. They're just being exploited by shitbags sitting at the top of a company, not doing anything, just sort of reaping the benefits of everyone else's hard work. While the historical oppression has been consistent, Mappa has also recently announced a new studio annex to promote a healthy work environment. Whether this is only a move to counter the backlash or an actual response to the traumatic work culture is still a question left unanswered. Every time Mappa takes on a new project, fans are quick to voice their concern about the working state of the employees. This time is no different, masqueraded as contractual formalities and part of the work ethic. The NDA has come as an attempt to keep the audience in the dark. As soon as the news broke out on the internet, fans took to Reddit and Twitter to call out the unfair practices of the renowned studios. Yes, it should be called out. Look, no company should have to be so bad that it has to manage its PR by silencing its own employees. At that point, just admit you have a problem and do something about it, other than just shut up, don't talk, or I'll hurt you. Now, to what I understand, these people actually like it's really hard to fire someone in Japan. They have, if I'm correct, they have something called lifetime employment, which basically means you have a right to have a job, which personally I think is bullshit. There are some people who do not deserve to have the jobs that they do. But that's just from what I've heard from a couple of people who I've read stuff from who were talking about life in Japan. So these people are letting themselves be exploited. They could quit. They can't be fired. Well, it's not that they can't be fired. It's hard to fire them. And they're just kind of letting it happen because it's considered shameful to complain about your work or to be a bad employee to your company. Among these voices, there are some users claiming to be a part of working environments. They shared their experiences without directly naming the studios. So, a supposed animator with the Twitter handle WalkB has made multiple tweets over time, sharing what they were up to in the animation process in the last 24 hours. They've made tweets putting out their anguish. Here's what they had to say. When I lose, it's up to me whether I give up and say I don't care anymore, or grit my teeth and keep going. If you're going to make a mess, go in as the director and fix it. I have nothing to lose, so if you want to take me to the court for complaining, I'll take it. In response to this, people were mostly supportive, offering words of encouragement to the animator. Seemingly familiar with the animation production process, a Twitter user shared their thoughts in Japanese. The place I'm at now is a basic mess and not very good. So if you want to do your best, don't get involved with such working environments. If you want to do things properly and get paid properly, this might be a good place for you. While it's a mess, it's a good place for newcomers to make a name for themselves because there are opportunities lying around and they're doing some high-profile work. But if you want to work hard, it's better to not get involved. With the latest leaks, it seems the next season of Jujutsu Kaisen will have some trouble being animated. There seems to be high chances of a possible staff protest from within the company. From their words, it comes to light that you need to keep your creativity to yourself at times to adhere to the standards set by your higher ups. Some tweets have been deleted soon after they were made, including some tweets made in English. Silencing the staff from talking about how atrocious the work conditions are is comically evil. I don't care at this point because, yes, the schedule is beyond terrible. The fact that work gets done at all with any level of competency is incredible. I will not compromise my health for work that won't even cover all of my rent, let alone any other expenses my main job and my overall well-being mean more to me than the fear of being blacklisted. I think I've covered about enough out of that article. If you want to read the rest, there's quite a bit more, or just a little bit more, but it's all that little bit more is just a bit of speculation talking about the Mappa stuff is insane to me. Like, I guess I come from a very different perspective because I've worked for family almost my entire life. Well, actually, I have worked for my family my entire life. And it's not exactly like working conditions have been harsh. Still, though, I try to do my best at my job and do what I can because I know that doing good work and being in the habit of doing your best is a good thing. It is honestly sad to see one of like some of my like favorite anime projects, some like one studio that I really thought was at the top of its game, come out with such like a dark side to them. Like I knew animation was a lot of work, but I did not think that Mappa would be so abusive of its employees. I did not think that any industry would be so abusive of the employees that do all of the work. And yet here we are with like a culture that basically breeds people who are easy to exploit, and it's kind of sad. It makes me question any sort of support for Mappa. Look, they do good work, and I do like what they do. But the fact of the matter is that, well, people, people are suffering because of all this. There's a lot of like blood and sweat going into this. And it kind of makes me uncomfortable to know that the conditions behind one of my favorite anime of the year, one that I think will probably end up being the best anime of the year, or the most beloved anime of the year, are so abysmal. And that shouldn't be a thing. I shouldn't look at something as amazing as Jujutsu Kaisen. Pardon me. I shouldn't have to look at something as amazing as Jujutsu Kaisen and think, God, I feel bad for the people making this. I want to be able to enjoy anime. I want to be able to love a fight scene, and I still will like really well animated stuff out of Mappa. But knowing that a lot of this is made in what is being entirely hyperbolic here, a sweatshop, kind of disturbs me. So, like I said, If at any point, if anyone watching this finds or creates or does some sort of organizes some sort of way to support the animators working at Mappa, all these people who have been exploited for all these years by a company and a CEO who couldn't give a shit, who only cares about lining his pockets, let me know. Because I'd be down for that. I don't currently have time or a lot of resources right now to kind of do something like that. And it's not like I have an amazing amount of reach either. I'm still going to do what I can. That's why I made this one of the topics for tonight, is because I feel like it's an issue everyone should be talking about, particularly anime fans. There are a lot of people much bigger than me, streams I watched even this week, who covered this subject. And I know I'm like a drop in the ocean compared to some of these people talking about this stuff. But I still think everyone who has a voice and should probably chime in on this and keep making noise until it becomes uncomfortable for Mappa to continue behaving the way they do. Or until we know whether their efforts to change the work environment are genuine or just out of a PR crisis. I'm not saying that people should boycott Mappa yet, because I feel like at that point it might just end up hurting the animators. That is my big concern. You don't want to make them even more victims than they already kind of are in all of this. But there does need to be something done, and pointing out to people like exactly how bad it's gotten is the first step. It's yeah, manga artists go through the same thing. They kind of have to, like, especially with, like, I covered this on my channel, I think, with their with Japan's new tax laws that force them to, like, do a bunch of paperwork, reveal their actual identities and all of that. It's kind of rough on them. So, like, as great as anime and manga have been these past couple of years, they're reaching a critical point where Japan's work culture might just be the thing that kills all of the momentum it's gained. And that would be a sad thing to see, because there's a lot of great stuff for, like, going on in this space. There's a lot of really good stories, and, like, I picked up another fun one recently here. And this kind of work culture, like this idea that you don't complain no matter what and you just take the abuse and you grit your teeth. Like, I don't comprehend that kind of mentality. Well, I kind of do. I put up with it. Like, even things I think are stupid, I will not complain at work, because I know I need to just get the job done and there's a lot riding on what I do. That part of it I can understand. But when you're blatantly and knowingly being exploited, that completely changes things. And you should probably, stick up for yourself. Because the longer these animators, like, let people beat them down, the longer this is going to last, and the more they're just going to tire themselves out, and eventually it's all going to implode. And like all of these articles have shown, it's not uncommon. Which would really suck, to watch some of these shows suffer from the implosions. I love Jujutsu Kaisen as an action anime, and it would suck to watch it to take a hit. Attack on Titan's over, and I like Chainsaw Man. It would suck to watch that take a hit too, even though I know people were like upset about it. I shouldn't have to feel bad watching an anime. I shouldn't have to worry about the people working behind the scenes on that anime. I get it, some things can be rough, some things are a crunch. But for the love of God, Mappa just keeps piling on the work and making things worse and worse. They're trying so hard to be the big dog in the industry. And I think that's what's going to be what kills Mappa. Well, it's been quite a lovely stream. I had a good number of people show up and hang out. But I think I have run through all my topics. I was going to touch on maybe I'll just bring it up now as like the very last thing I do on the stream, if I can find it, because this one was freaking cursed. I gotta go to Twitter for this. Is it still in my bookmarks? Yeah. So one last thing to just kind of laugh at and to kind of go with the whole thing. I don't even know if I really want to show this. It's kind of... yeah, whatever the fuck. So this kind of showed up in my feed. And I'm not sure how to feel about this. Basically, someone wrote a book about a chick whose nether regions send people to the underworld. So she has her boyfriend climb inside. And trust me, I've read some weird-ass manga. But never in my life have I ever read something like that. I should say a synopsis about that. Just some more pain to go on top of the bad Batman, the awful conditions at Mappa. Yeah, I hope you suffer. I'm a sadist. I don't know, maybe I will, maybe we'll do some, like, weirdest synopsis, weirdest, summaries of anime out there. I know there's some wild ones, like, Fooly Cooly. I know that one has, to be honest, I won't boycott Mappa nor the anime industry. I'll still check out Mappa and anime both inside and outside of Mappa. So it looks I'm going to make anime my necessary evil. I don't even think you can count it as a necessary evil. Here's the thing. Like, I don't think every company out there is absolutely exploitative. There is an issue with Japanese work culture, and from what I've heard from YouTubers who have been talking about this, who actually live in Japan, who are Japanese people, it's been getting somewhat better. That doesn't mean it's perfect. That doesn't mean that like everything is improving, but some places have begun to change. Some industries have begun to change, which is a good thing. But with Mappa in particular, it kind of highlights a lot of the brutality going on in that industry. You heard about the Liver King situation? I've never even heard of the Liver King to be. You know what? I might regret Googling this, but here we go. Oops. Eating raw meat and organs and claims to have a ripped physique. Oh, so what? This guy is basically on like steroids or something? Is that what's going on? Like he claims like he eats all natural and all that, and he's just like he just like he eats organs and raw meat. I found the Wikipedia page. Oh geez. What is this? Black, what kind of rabbit hole have you sent me down? I love it. I have an obsession with like weird and bizarre stuff. So like I recently picked up Dandadan. And that one's wild. So I am interested. Brian Johnson. Wow, what a basic ass white name. Better known by his online alias Liver King, is an American fitness, social media influencer, and business. He is known for promoting what he calls ancestral lifestyle, which includes eating large amounts of raw, unprocessed organs and meat, as well as eating liver daily. All right. Explain to me exactly what the drama is. Is it about controversy? This might be it. His dietary recommendations of eating raw meat has been criticized as dangerous due to the associated risk of bacterial infection from its consumption. Yeah, that should be fucking obvious to anyone. The meat-rich diet Johnson recommends is high in saturated fat, which is associated with an increased risk of heart disease and high cholesterol levels. Oh, his health has gone downhill. Well, yeah, because you're eating fucking entrails and meat raw. Raw! Gordon Ramsay right now. That's what happens when you do that shit. And why do like 90% of this guy's photos look like they're shopped? People also search for Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. Oh, well, that shows you exactly what he's on right there. I think I got a clip for that.
What now?
Yeah, that Liver King. Oh boy. That certainly is one heck of a rabbit hole you just sent me down. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know. I generally don't keep up with like drama on the internet unless it's something to do with like the indie sector or anime or one of the influencers I follow. So like if someone like I don't know, from something prominent, say like Friday Night Tights gets into it on the internet, like, oh, I followed Chad Brooks and George Alexopoulos going at each other over AI art. Which watching all of that stuff, I'm more and more convinced that Shad is right, even though I think some of the artwork is shit. Like, I don't for a second think that the stuff he's produced looks fantastic or visually appealing, or very visually appealing, I should say. But I don't think it makes. I don't think the idea that like it makes you any less an artist for using the tool is correct. Just my personal opinion. I think it's more impressive to hand draw stuff. But I might regret that one. Is this gonna be like a Dick Fight Island kind of thing? You know what? I'll do it. You know what? We're in the bonus rounds tonight. Is it hey, I'm gay? What in the what the funk? Black, don't tell me you're reading this. Seems dumb. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so gay. Rainbows and sparkles, and it's so much fun. Jesus. Dear Lord, I traded Vegeta for this. Let's see. Maybe I should bring some Oh, so basically it's just a meme. Like people just dunk on this guy because he's a lol cow. Okay. That makes sense. Based. It's like the Tim Sheridan shit. Which nobody bought that book. And by the way, let me just say this. I posted my rant about that from the show when I covered that, and I got ratioed to fuck for that. Like people hated on me. And I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. I would do the razor fist spin in my chair shouting, "Fuck you, I was right." But I have a a tethered headset. So I would just yank my mic and my whole computer off my desk. Which if you don't understand, like I'm streaming from my laptop, which is right here. I have a TV screen right here that I'm using as a dual monitor. And I have a little like dinner bed tray that I have my whole computer propped up on. I am absolutely not professional. So an LGBT YouTuber who went on a rant about how much of a shit show it was. Huh. Okay. Okay. Either way. Either way, I mean, like some people just have like honestly that whole thing just screams attention seeking gay person who needs everyone absolutely to know just how gay they are. Whack. Whack. Honestly, I think at this point I need to end it because like I've gone through everything I needed to. Kind of hit the big topic for the night. So thank you to Vinzinger, Pilgrim, Daimyo, Black, all of you for showing up, for watching, commenting, tagging along. I appreciate you guys coming out here and giving me your time. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more organized here in the future. Things didn't go quite how I planned. You know, I could have brought up more Cringe with the solo leveling dub trailer, but I'm not going to do that one. We're just going to call it here. Thanks. Hopefully next week I'll have an intro ready for this show and a little bit more clips and stuff. So I will leave it with... Do I have a good clip for this? I guess I'll leave it with this one. Incest is wincest, I guess.